Okay, so now we got a new object in our scene. We're gonna just try to get away from that for a second and try to copy an object that's already was in our scene to begin with, okay? Which means that we've already programmed for it in our code. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this object, we're gonna Control Z, Control V, we're gonna move it over here, and we're gonna have a copy. Notice the name is now UFO00.002, so that postfix means that it is a copy of a model that already exists. So your program will be able to display it without without having to jump through too many hoops. It'll actually just use the model that is already in there, but it will spawn it in a different location potentially. So I'm also going to make another copy of it, and I'm going to call this one 005, and we'll get back to why that is later. Okay, so I'm just gonna, for now, I'm just going to go ahead and rename it 005, so we have a couple new ones in there. Again, we want to make sure that the meshes are the same. Oops, that's 004, so we should rename that to 002. Okay, so we're going to rename that to 002. And as far as 005, we're going to make sure that is 005. It looks like it made it 006, so we're going to rename that to 005 as well. Okay. All right. Now notice they all have the correct custom properties. So if you go down here, you go into this orange square, they all have that game type, the custom game type, so that you need in order to display objects, dynamic objects. So just make a note of that. That happens when you copy it, but not if you just create a new object. So this new object we made before, it was totally new. We had to add that ourselves to it to make it a true enemy. Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to go back to our Blender. Back to our program. We need to create these and spawn these objects into the scene in order for that to work with our scene. So before we can do that though, we need to go ahead and drop this into our JSON file. So you go out to somewhere that doesn't have an object, go up here to File, go to, first of all, let's save it. Let's save the file, Control S, and then we're gonna go ahead and do Export to Dropper. All right. And now it's going to be, we're going to use our JSON scene. So in my case, it'll be Rob level, game level Rob, and you're going to go ahead and export it to that. And now you have everything in the scene exported to your JSON to be used in the actual code. When you go to the code, now you're going to have to do some things to set up the, set it up so that you can use this. Just notice I had two open at the same time. So let's go ahead and, I guess we're going to get rid of one. Here, we'll get rid of this one, you have your CPP file set up. So you're going to have to make some changes in the overall code in order to have that level that you just created as your level start as level 1. So first of all, I created levels for each of us. So the path is going to be to your JSON. So that's going to, right there is going to make sure that whatever you open as level 1 is going to be your level. Okay, however, you have to make sure that the game is set up to do that as well. So let's go into this file that shows you exactly how to do everything. So first of all, the first thing you're going to do, we already imported and dropped the level, is we're going to have to make sure that this JSON level of yours accounts for this new enemy. So what we're going to do is first we're going to go ahead and add an enemy underneath your name. Okay, so if you notice, I already have an enemy 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So 0.002 is already used, and so you don't have to create that one again. It's already created, but 005 is not. So what we're going to do is we're just going to copy this, and we're going to call this enemy 6. And I'm going to put it under my name. Okay, so now I have an enemy 6, and it's sort of under my name. Okay, and I called this 0.005. So now I've created one that was completely new, but was still based on another model. So that's the first step. Second step is you're going to look here, and you're going to look where the path is set for level 1, and that's going to be in level components. So if we go to level components, you're going to go here, and we're going to take where it says this, level 1, and this is your path, so if game manager equals level 1, then you're going to go ahead and comment that out, and you're going to go ahead and copy your level out here and just replace what was there with your level. So now the level is going to start, level 1 is going to reference your level. Okay, so that's the next step. The next thing that you're going to do, according to this sheet, is you're going to actually spawn the objects. So the way you spawn the object is you have to go to the level manager. So level manager is where you set what actually goes into the level. So under level, if you notice, if the level is not 0, which is any level other than the title screen, I've created all these enemies. Okay. Now after I created them for the enemies, because every level has at least 2 enemies, I go ahead and create them fully. But for the other ones, so that we have the option of whether to use the enemy or not, I remove the enemy component. And so when you remove the enemy component, they will not show up in the scene. So if you want one of these enemies to show up in the scene, you're going to actually have to replace that component. So what we're going to do is we want that enemy 2, that 002. So that's enemy number 3. We're going to go down into the level, and we're going to go ahead and just spawn it. So I already have a model for it here. Okay, it's called enemy 3 is enemy.002 and UFO.002, and I'm just going to go ahead. It's really simple. I'm going to just copy and paste this, and I'm going to rename it enemy 3 and model 3, and I just have to make sure I replace the enemy component on it. So before I even spawn it, I'll have to replace the component. Okay, and so now when we go ahead and run this, we should be able to see that enemy in the scene on level 1 that wasn't there before. So here we go. Go ahead and do that. And it's going to take into account it's going to use your Blender level. So let's see what happens. Now we have 4 enemies instead of 3, and there's the enemy you just created, and this is your Blender level because we set it up to use your Blender level as level 1. Okay? Alright, so in the next video I'm going to show you how to actually set up a completely new, that UFO.005, which is one that hasn't been pre-set up for you, okay?